Greetings and welcome to an LGR thing in stereo. Or about stereos, rather. Really one stereo in particular, that being the Sharp CD BA200 from the year 2000. Because not only have I run across one of these still sealed in its box from the factory, but it's a very special stereo to me in that it is the first one that I ever bought. Almost 25 years ago now. Yeah, I have not seen one of these in a long time. This exact model in particular doesn't come up very often for sale. And it's not like this is some objectively rare, awesome, sought-after, hi-fi stereo setup or anything. What makes it special is that it was mine. So this is going to be a very subjective look back at this stereo and these types of mini systems or bookshelf systems or whatever you want to call them. From the turn of the millennium, and I mean right on that cusp. This system in particular was released in the summer of 2000. I believe I might have gotten mine at the beginning of 2001 because I primarily paid for it using money from Christmas and my 14th birthday just 5 days before that. And while this had a $180 list price, I'm pretty darn sure I got it for $150, and I've uncovered lots of ads showing prices at that or very similar. And I would look up the exact ad for it, but I don't remember exactly where I got it. It was either Kmart or Sam's Club. But yeah, 150 bucks. I mean, that was rather decent pricing for one of these things, with most comparable systems of its specifications generally being between $170 and $250. Most of the time, if they went higher than that, it was because they included more speakers or a larger separate subwoofer in its own housing and surround sound 5.1 stuff. But me, I wasn't interested in all that, man. I just wanted my own personal stereo system to have in my bedroom. Something with more oomph than the little dual cassette boombox that I had. And yeah, that's really where all this started for me back in the day, was boomboxes in the early 90s. Some of the earliest things that I can remember are looking at and messing around with my dad's JVC boombox, which was a PC-something something, but it looked close to these 1989, 1990 models. And seeing those woofers bounce around and feeling the audio pressure waves, it was immediately entrancing. I just remember lusting after bigger and bigger speakers, and subwoofers in particular, especially by the late 90s. Now, this was fully fueled by all those Bose commercials bragging about their bass and their dedicated subwoofer, as well as copious hip-hop music videos and people showing off their systems on TV, and lots of in-store demonstration kiosks, and those walls of speakers and the sound systems that used to be in every single electronics retailer worth its salt. Which, yeah, these are photos that I took myself on my first digital camera. I was just obsessed with the idea of these things. Man, the late 90s, early 2000s were the perfect time for the budget-restricted, audio-curious teenager because bookshelf hi-fis and mini systems like these were dropping in price rapidly, while also increasing in the number of features and their overall style while being a simpler setup. You got it all in one box. Say goodbye to stackable components and hello to symmetric styling designed to look good together, a convenient all-in-one solution that was actually relatively low cost. You got your CDs, cassettes, your radio, your amplifier, your multi-way speakers, sometimes even mini disc all in one unit for less than the cost of a single component previously. And of course, there was that aesthetic that came along with these. I've seen lots of terms for this. Y2K futurism, cybercore, chromecore seems to be a pretty accepted term at the moment, so I don't know, whatever you want to refer to it as, this was a dramatic shift in style from the 1990s sleeker black boxes with lots of rounded off 90-degree angles and plenty of physical controls and buttons and sliders. But it was about to be the 21st century, and that wouldn't do. No, it's all about silver plastics and metal. Now there's even more angles with more curves, swoopy bits, with settings hidden behind menus, often with a vacuum fluorescent display. Yeah, it was a look that was unavoidable, and it kind of makes sense because these mini systems were becoming more affordable. So the different brands really began emphasizing that visual impact in order to stand out from the crowd on store shelves. And then of course when you looked closer, you saw a lot of the same types of features being touted by everyone. You know, multi-CD changers, MP3 CD playback, built-in subwoofers with bi-amplification dedicated to powering them, as well as that copious bass boost marketing. I love all the different terms they used for speaker configurations and equalizer settings. Sony had their SAW Superwoofer, LG had X-Boom, Aiwa had Super T Bass, JVC had their daggum Gigatubes, and Sharp had X-Bass. And for around a decade or so, I remember these things being all over the place, and then they just kind of fizzled out of the mainstream, which in hindsight was right around the time iPod docks and other dedicated MP3 player docking stations came into vogue. Not to mention more portable Bluetooth speakers and those party system in a box kind of things that you'd probably go for now instead of hauling around a mini system like some of us used to. As for me though, after moving out of the country for a bit, I left my stereo system behind and really just moved on and got used to using computer speakers. Heck, my entire music collection is already on my computer, so why not just use a nice set of those, which for a long time was a Logitech X530 5.1 system with a pretty decent sub. It wasn't until 2016 that I was finally compelled to create a more substantial audio setup after watching a lot of Tecmone and getting more seriously into vinyl. And amusingly enough, that meant going back to mixing and matching individual components and speakers. It's interesting how these things can come back around cyclically, with me starting to return to CDs being another one of those cycles that's come back around after rediscovering some old favorites in storage. But yeah, that made me realize I don't have a dedicated CD player. I've just been playing mine through different computer CD-ROM drives for a long time now, and it just got me thinking like, man, it'd be kind of nice to have a stereo again. Well, what about that old Sharp I had? Could I even find a new one maybe? Turns out that you can, if you look long enough and pay way too much money, but I can't really justify emotional decisions like this. I know it's not going to be some high-fidelity, wonderful audio experience, and I don't need it to be. No, this is all about some silly nostalgia and making a YouTube video to justify some questionable late-night purchasing decisions, so let's take a close look at this thing already. Still has the manufacturer to retailer shipping label there from Sharp in Romeoville, Illinois to Meyer RJK Warehouse in Clinton Township, Michigan. From July 10th, 2000, and apparently the freight cost was $10.41. Really? It was also nice to see the seller provided a little bit of context through email after buying it, which I've edited down for clarity and privacy and stuff. But they said, "Thank you for purchasing my brand new stereo system. I went ahead and added some extra cardboard, specifically around the edges, to protect the shipment as much as possible. Very much appreciate that." And they said, "The system has been in my family since 2000. A relative of mine worked at Sharp during that era, and this unit was gifted to them directly from the company, not a store purchase. It was never opened or used, instead carefully stored in a dry, temperature-regulated area for over 2 decades, and it sure seems like it." Yeah, we're looking at an original seal here, as far as I can tell. It's just kind of shifted over the decades, and yeah, look at that. Doesn't look like any kind of reseal job to me. It's not like I go out trying to disbelieve or disprove sellers that say, "Oh, this is still sealed from the factory." But I've been burned so many times, you know. Let's unbox this sucker. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this from the bottom and do the whole lift off from above thing. Mmm. 25 years later, oh my goodness. just seeing any of this is making me, it's just crazy flashbacks. Oh my word. Wow, like really, just look at that. Haven't seen the light of day since the end of the Clinton administration. Screw it, man. Here we go. Look at those beasts. Got our remote control up here. Oh, old friend. A very familiar feeling. So fresh. Smells like nothing. Seriously, no smell at all. I remember a lot of that getting worn down and discoloring over the years of use back in the day. Oh, hey, yeah. Got our goodie bag here, including our antenna. I always hated this thing because it like just felt so cheap. I don't know. I mean, obviously you need it. Didn't like the way it looked or felt. And here we go. We have an Energy Star program information. I was all excited that this was on my stereo as well as my computer monitor. I don't know why, but I was. Mini component quick guide. Yes, remote AM/FM antenna loop. Plug it in, insert the batteries, play some media. So curious if these things, like the tapes and CDs, still work, because man, you never know. Even if kept in perfect conditions, especially the tape, or I mean, I don't know, maybe the CD tray is belt based as well, but who knows. Anyway, got a very simple little manual here, and yep, I remember reading this cover to cover. On the 16th page here, you get all of your specifications. 100 watts minimum RMS per channel into 6 ohms. Interesting. So it's not 8 or 4, but 6. Definitely see like 8 or 4 nowadays. Most of my stuff is 8. Wow. That's beautiful. So untouched. So clean. That Energy Star logo again. 200 watts. Built-in powered subwoofers. Those bragging rights. Yeah, still no smells off of anything. No off-gassing, like, oh wow, nice and smooth. Very nice to see after all this time. I mean, look at it. Not a scratch, not a speck of dust. Just beautiful from the factory freshness. Yet 20 years old. 25, dang. Ugh, keep forgetting that time is what it is. We have this little thing hanging off there. Power cable permanently connected. Antenna loop auxiliary input output. So we have RCA right there. Made use of that with early MP3 players and other such things for sure. Then we have our speaker amplifier outs right here. So dedicated for main left and right and subwoofer left and right. So there's our bi-amplification going on. I forget if this has rubber feet or what. Yeah, kind of little rubber pads. They held up okay. They're not terribly sticky or anything. All right, left speaker. Wonderful. Subwoofer, regular woofer, a couple of tweeters. Well, one tweeter and a super tweeter. And then we've got like our bass port. What a special moment. Yeah, I remember these cables being pretty darn long. How long is this? Maybe 6 feet. All right. Good stuff. Just kind of leave this back here for now. Man, I'm getting excited. I hope this thing still works. I don't know what like condition capacitors or belts or just literally anything is going to be in. Oh, this setup coming together again. Looking like new. So deeply satisfying. Look at that 2000s ass looking thing. Just some of those you press to open. That still works. That's nice. Yet it is surreal seeing a new one of these like this again. I just keep looking at it being like, oh wow, I'm not used to seeing it this, you know, clear and whatever. I just have a couple of old pictures, you know, and like fading memories, and that's about it. Let's get it plugged in. Familiar sound indeed. Hello. Entered demo mode here. That's just great. Yeah, like the in-store kind of demonstration. Showing off that beautiful display, making other things flash for no reason. It's just gorgeous. Oh my word. Will it power on and do all the other things? That sounds all right. So I guess it's checking the CDs. I don't remember it taking that long, but I guess it did. Okay, well, that was one of my big questions, whether or not this whole tray mechanism was still going to be worth a crap. Because, yeah, it's very cheap. I mean, hey, it's doing some stuff and not throwing up any, like, error messages or anything. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, heck yes. Working straight away with something. And it is coming out of both speakers. Are you one of them girls? Okay. Just might run. Yeah, obviously copyrighted things, but it seems to be working. At least the amps for speakers and sub, left and right. We've got a tuner. Now, obviously, it could still be a problem with CD and tape. Who knows? But really good signs so far. And yeah, this is not my first time trying to make this video happen. Because yeah, a while ago, I had another one that I ordered, incomplete, not boxed, definitely not new, but it was a pretty good price and nothing worked. Not even the amps. Like the subs did nothing, only one channel worked in terms of sound output at all. The tuner would pick things up and I think that was about it. CD tray wasn't even open, just made a grinding noise and put up an error on screen and no response from them at all. It was just in horrible shape, way worse than I assumed it was when I ordered it. But yeah, this right here is what I've been hoping for, exactly, in terms of being able to find one that was in as good a shape as I could possibly get it. So yeah, let's hook some other things up and start testing this out. All right, so let's see if we can get this clock going and then we'll test CDs and tapes and things. Don't remember how to set that up. Love the sound of those relays, by the way. But yeah, so we should just be able to, yeah, clock right there. And if we power off, we'll have, I guess, nothing. Or we can go into demo mode again. Awesome. Good deal. Let's try some CDs. Alrighty, grabbed a few favorites from back in the day in CD. And let's try one of them in here. And oh, hope this works. So far, so good. Number one. Let's see if we can just, yeah, get over to it. There's a disc skip here and then 1, 2, 3 to select, but just let it scan and see. Oh no! Not a great sign. Not a great sign at all. Crap. Well, try a different CD. I mean, that one is definitely fine. I was just playing it in a computer. Come on. Dude, huh? Interesting and really disappointing. I wonder what is up with that. It is not detecting CDs. Well, I guess let's try the tapes next. Kind of amusing if this worked and the CDs didn't. Usually it's the tapes never working and CD player holding up. But yeah, just got a few to try and we'll do good old Anders Inger Jensen here. It's already on tape 1. Yeah, we'll just switch between them like that. We'll just see what happens. Well, we're getting, yeah! Heck yeah! Yeah, no rewind or fast forward, but it is playing quite well, actually. Interesting. Let's try the other side. I fully expected the belts to be perished on here, but is it on both of them is the question. Oh, heck yeah. Okay. So that's still working. I didn't touch anything. What was that? This one is marginal. It doesn't sound like it's actually rewinding. Oh, crap. Yeah. Cassette tape memories. At least it didn't fully eat the tape, but, you know. Where's my Bic pen when I need it? All right, so I'm going to put that right there just to see if this is indeed not doing anything. Which I don't think it is. Loud Blue Jays out there. Yeah, it's not doing crap. So, I wonder if it's going to be like just belts or a motor or perhaps one of those idler tires or whatever. There's a few different things that can very much go wrong, and you have separate mechanisms and paths for things like playback and rewind, fast forward is on a separate deal in this, obviously. So, interesting though that we have at least good playback in this one. I don't trust this one, but tape 1 is good, so. Sounds pretty decent too. So yeah, I'm not gonna bother doing any like wow and flutter tests, but I am, well, I was gonna say I'm curious to try recording, but that can only happen on this side. I'm gonna try it anyway. Just gonna risk it, because why not? See what happens. Not that I remember how to do it on here, and I can't record from CD. I could record from radio, I guess. That's an option. Curious. Yeah, it just does this. That's all we get. It's like moving one part but not the rest on that side. So, can't even test recording. Most unfortunate, but not at all unexpected for the tapes. I'm certainly gonna test that video/aux input, and yeah, it's not just for video, it's anything auxiliary. Making use of the RCA inputs back here, but yeah, plugging it into a TV or VCR or computers in my case, very common. So I got that plugged into this RCA to 3.5 mil, and I'm trying to find something with a headphone jack. Certainly plugged into a lot of computers and MP3 players and things back in the day, but I do have this on hand, which I received not too long ago. I did a video about it over on LGR Blurbs. Mainly the fan. I guess you could say I wasn't a huge fan of the fan, but it's a little better now. And it does have a real headphone jack, so that's handy. Some Doom seems appropriate. Shotgun blasts sound awesome. What the heck? Well. Get me out of here. This made such a substantial upgrade for computer audio back in the day. I mean, for anything really, but definitely had this up above the computer for a long time. I'm going to try out one of these range tests for the subwoofer, because I feel like it. Looking in the manual and then the back of the speakers, there's no frequency range mentioned, but it does say here, subwoofer 60 hertz to 200, so does that mean we're pretty much not going to get anything under 60? That sucks. So yeah, I'm just going to do one of those frequency sweeps, 25 to 150 hertz, just a YouTube video. Yeah, we'll set it one down from max. That's got some punchiness to it, but yeah, it didn't really kick in there until, I want to say it was like 33, 34. Yeah, you're not getting a lot below 50 hertz, and it's fine over that. So, instead of being like subwoofers, it really is just kind of like punchy mid-woofers, I guess. You know, and that's fine. It definitely did the trick back in the day, and always like knocking stuff off of things in the bedroom or wherever it was set up as a youngin'. I mean, because of course, it's still fun. That's why I did that. I mean, it certainly moved some air, you know. You could feel this thing. The mids are actually quite good. Highs, not so much. Kind of sharp and harsh, honestly. I did not even mean that as a pun. Sharp. If you really want to move more air, I mean, we've got some power to work with here. And of course, a dedicated subwoofer amp. So why not a couple of 18-inch subs? These are normally in my home theater just for funsies. And yeah, they're 8 ohms, and this is a 6 ohm amplifier, so it's not a perfect pairing, but we can still do stuff. So just unplug the little 5 1/4 inch subs from our Sharp speakers and plug in a ridiculous 18-inchers. And that is genuinely it. They're simply driven by the Sharp. And no, none of this is optimal, but that's not really the point. That's dumb. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, those are getting power. Playing Hey Now there because I'm quite familiar with that track and how they should sound through here, and it is definitely not driving these very hard, even with the rock setting to get some bass boost and whatnot. And the X boost is on, and not really a big surprise. You certainly get more response from the frequency testing, the sweep as well for the bass. So yeah, I mean, just immediately down 25, 27 hertz, you're just feeling that crazy rumble in your chest. It's just not nearly driving these as hard and as powerfully as you can with a dedicated subwoofer amp. Like, I normally have a few thousand watts just for these in my home theater. Yeah, expectedly subpar results, but dang it if it's not extremely gratifying visually, just in that fun wish fulfillment kind of way. So yeah, truly all we're left with at this point is just taking it apart, seeing if we can see some issues. We've definitely never disassembled one of these, so hopefully it's not too big of a deal. I mean, I know it's just a few screws, but you never know with these. Well, that's very easy access to just the CD portion, so we can take a look at that, no problem. Okay, it's a little more open for sure. And the one belt that I can immediately see seems healthy, tight. On both sides, can't see it from here, but I can see the other one looks okay, but this one, look at that. That is just gross, and there's nothing but remains left there, so that needs to be replaced both sides. I'll definitely be able to get access to it from the other side. Thank goodness this is not like completely full of boards. Heck yeah, I've got some hope, just a little bit. And so this is the tape one, the left side there, and you can see the little wheel there is all right. Yeah, so like all the plastics seem to be intact just fine, so that's good. I'm not seeing any like broken gear parts. I haven't heard anything rattling around. It's just the belts. As for the CD issue, I'll try another known good disc and see what it does. Well, that spins, so we have some motor activity, but... Huh. Oh, and it's trying to do that. I wonder if it's just not able to get up to full speed, and it's just saying that there's no disc because, like... I'm not sure it's done. Yeah, there's these little holes that he uses to sense if there's a disc, and I don't know if it's like something physical or if it's an optical sensor or what. Something is underneath there doing that. And I think I see what it is. Now you can see the little plasticky, there's a little nub in there that I'm shining on, and that pokes up through the little hole to detect a CD in a tray. And that's going up and down when we're turning things, so like that's fine. Yeah, all that is doing its thing. It's just this, I think, not spinning around as it needs to. So I'm assuming there is another belt under there somewhere. I hope it's just a belt and not a gear or the motor. All right, so for the tape 2 here, yeah, you can see that actually does seem rather healthy, although I don't know exactly why it's stopping like that. If it just detects something is overall wrong, I don't know. The other side doesn't stop. I want to switch sides here. Yeah, I mean, it's the same motor running both of these things. Yeah, the other side is definitely a little iffy in terms of that belt, but it stays playing. This side 2 doesn't. And yeah, obviously that's just gross. Thankfully it doesn't seem to have turned into like total mud or anything, although it is. Well, it's getting to that mud stage. Belt goop. Ugh. That's gonna suck, but whatever. So it goes with these things. I mean, it's that fast forward, rewind, trying to do it, but obviously can't. And there's, oh yeah, definitely a bit of goop behind there as you'd expect too. So this is a pain to clean, but it's entirely doable. And unfortunately, that's kind of where I'm gonna have to call it for this, because I don't have any belts on hand that are going to work for this. Plus I want to find a service manual for this if I can and see if there's a way to get in here without just like trying to bend stuff. There's a lot of little pinned in place plastic and I don't want to break it, obviously. Thankfully I do have that other one with spare components if I need them, but the belts are toast in there as well. Goopy toast. But I have ordered just a whole bunch of belts, so I'm gonna do some kind of a follow-up, probably a blurb or something once I get those and see if I can get this fixed up, because dang it, it deserves to be. It's such a beautiful, perfect example of one of these early 2000s the integrated component mini system things. So happy to have come across this and got it shipped in its original box so that it actually fully survived this time. But yeah, unfortunately, that is where I'm going to be ending it for this, while I wait for those belts to arrive and hope that that is the only thing that this needs. So far, that seems to be the case. Everything that I've tested is working great until it starts relying on rubber stuff, and that's always what fails on any of these that don't rely on direct drive, and of course those have their own problems. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed seeing it unboxed and tested out a bit anyway, and yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments about fixing this thing up if you think maybe it's something else beyond belts. And yeah, if you had one of these or anything similar to it, just leave your early 2000s stereo system memories, your bookshelf systems, your component systems you put together, just whatever you were into back then. I love hearing about all that. If you enjoy this type of thing though, then well, you're probably on the wrong channel. Go watch TechMoan or Posey. Posey's been doing fantastic hi-fi system videos in the past couple of years in particular, and he's definitely reignited my interest. But if you like old computers, like what you're seeing in the background here playing, that's usually the kind of thing that I'm into. So if that's your bag, then do check out some of my other videos or stick around for more in the future that are always in the works on LGR. And of course, thank you very much for watching.